The backstory of Black Jack. It's a funny story. I shouldn't say it's a funny story, but it's a unique story because it actually came about through research that I was doing for a book that I did a number of years ago, that just came out a few years ago on Muhammad Ali, called 12 Rounds to Glory. And I had done a lot of research on that book, and in the midst of doing research, you come across, interesting characters and such. And one of the names that I came across was Jack Johnson, who was the first black heavyweight champion. And a lot of people equated Muhammad Ali's style and personality related to his time to Jack Johnson in his time, which was the turn of the century, early 1900s. So as I was doing research on that, his name just kind of jumped out, and I just wrote it down. Probably a few months after that, Ken Burns did a PBS special on him called Unforgivable Blackness. And so I decided to watch it, and I was just completely fascinated because, Ken Burns always does a great job in his storytelling, and he's very thorough in going from, in this case, very young to the end of his career and, his life ultimately. And so I got to really see every single part of him, and I says, man, when you're considering somebody to write about for a biography, the appeal for kids, the appeal has to be, well, what were they like as a child? Because it's one thing to focus on them being an adult, but for kids' biographies, we want to see how they got to the finished part. So we focus a lot on the earlier part, and he was very interested in reading, even though he never finished the 6th grade. He wanted to be a great man, and he tried to figure out the best way to do it. And it wasn't his idea actually to box. It was actually his mom's idea when she got tired of seeing her boy pushed around, and she just said, fight back. And he did, and the rest, as they say, is history. And so the focus of it became the fight between he and Jim Jeffries for the heavyweight championship of the world. And at that time, what made it all the more special was it was the first time a black man was contending for the heavyweight championship. And he constantly wanted that fight, but Jim Jeffries would constantly say no, he wouldn't fight, a black man. But yet on the same token, he would keep calling Jack Johnson yellow, meaning, a coward. And so yeah, everybody just kind of laughed, and the people just got fed up to the point and said, look, you guys are the two of the best boxers. You should be fighting. And so I thought it set the stage for what would be an interesting book. Not only his life, but the fact that the fight for him to become the heavyweight champion would become the ultimate finished centerpiece.